Hello, welcome to my opinion on the Cohen V California case. So before I go on and present my arguments, I just need to point out that every single one of us is going to sort of be coming from a place of bias. And in this particular case, I happen to agree with the message being sent by Mr. Cohen, even though I don't necessarily agree with the way he said it. I agree with what he's saying. But however, when I'm presenting my points, I will make a point to be objective and to not let my bias blind me in my support. So I am in support of Mr. Cohen, and I am against the verdict made by California for two main reasons. The first is that Mr. Cohen's constitutional rights allow him to voice his political opinions. Now, I am not of the view that free speech has no limits. I believe that your right to free speech ends where people's right to be free from harm begins. And I believe that the moment you start preaching hate and you start advocating for violence against people, and the moment you start advocating for harm, that's when you lose your right to say whatever you want, about whatever you want, wherever you want. And in this particular case, what he was saying, he was not advocating for violence, he was not calling for death. What he was saying was not insightful for any chaos. It was simply a political statement. It was simply him voicing his disapproval and discouraging against a certain move made by the government, which is one of the core principles and one of the fundamental values of the United States that it was founded on. The second reason is that it sets a very dangerous precedent. The moment you allow the government to start deciding what people can and cannot say, you hand them the power of censorship, and that is really one of the first steps on the path to authoritarianism. Because once the government decides what you can and can't say, what's stopping them from taking it even further and deciding that there are certain topics that you simply cannot address, and that anybody who says something that goes against the government's agenda would be considered a traitor? And I think that that's incredibly dangerous, and that it would also violate the Constitution. And for those two main reasons, I believe that Cohen has a right to wear that jacket. I also believe that vulgarity does not equate to violence. And for those reasons, I believe that he is within his rights to wear a jacket. And anybody else who makes a political statement that does not incite violence or that is not attempting to incite violence should be able to do so. Thank you for listening.